Alright, so let's talk Instagram stories. Most people just use the in-app camera to take their stories, and they're usually really bland. Some people will go the extra mile and take pictures with their camera and edit them on the computer and put them up and tell a reasonably cool story like that. What I like to do is shoot video on my phone and basically just make a short video and cut it for the Instagram stories. The real master at this is a guy named Jesse Driftwood. I saw his style and I blatantly copied it. I will link him in the description and you can go check him out because he does amazing stories. So what I do when I want to do a story of my day, basically, so I'll just shoot video on my iPhone vertically, either regular video, slow-mo, depending on what the scene needs, and I just stitch it together in an editing app. So the most important thing to remember is that you want to tell a story, right? It is called Instagram stories. So focus on getting all the shots that you need to tell your story. Do some establishing shots of your area, do some close-ups, do some, maybe talk to the camera, tell everyone what you're up to. You don't have to if you're shy. Your video can tell its own story, but it's always cool for people to see you and see your personality. The editing app that I use, it's called LUMAFUSION. It's the best video editing app I've found. It's quite expensive, it's £20, but I think it's worth its money if you use it enough. There's iMovie, which is free, you can use that as well. And if you're on Android, I'm sure there's other editing apps that you can use. Just search for a video editing app. I'm going to shoot some video on my phone and show you exactly how I think and how I shoot when I want to shoot for my stories. So let's go do that and then we'll get into the editing. One really cool thing I like to do with my stories is use whip transitions. So what you can do is as you're starting to shoot a scene, you can just whip into it, shoot it, count 1, 2, 3, 3 seconds is usually more than enough, and then like whip it on another side. So you have about 8 whips that you can do. Down, up, left, right, forward, back, and rotation. That's pretty cool, the rotation as well, because it looks like you're spinning the world around. So the trick here is to plan your shots and use the last whip should be the first one of your next shot. So if I'm whipping in and then shooting and then whipping down, when I decide to do another shot, let's say of my friend Michael over here, I need to whip into it, shoot, and then do a different whip. So in that way it all fits together like this. Another thing to elevate your stories with is to use a drone. So I shoot on the Mavic Pro. I shoot for my videos on YouTube, but I will transfer those clips onto my phone using this little adapter, an SD card with a mini SD card adapter. I will transfer them on my phone and I will edit a short drone footage to put into my stories. That way it looks a lot more professional and it differentiates you from everybody else. Alright, so I shot my Instagram stories throughout the day. I shot some drone footage as well that I'm going to import on my phone, and now I'm going to show you how to edit the footage and get it on Instagram. Okay, so like I said, I edit in an app called LumaFusion. Open up the app and you can create a new project by pressing plus. Select for the frame aspect 9:16 because Instagram stories is a vertical video. You can name it if you want. You can choose your frame rate depending on what you shot. Hit create new, and here you can find your footage. I put everything I wanted in an album called story. So this will be a simple edit just so you guys can see how it's done. You can start with us in the car. You select the footage and you can select the in and out points from here. You don't want it to be too long, so 3-4 seconds max. You can play it back like this. I've actually imported some footage from my camera as well because sometimes it's nice to have that depth of field. So I will import a few seconds of that. Now you see, because it's shot horizontally, it's out of place. So if I double click on the clip, it'll open the editor and I can swap the position here to where I want it to be. If I want this to be shorter, I can pull these little levers here, or I can just chop with the cut tool. Yeah, that's looking good enough. I'll put the next clip in 3 seconds of that. Like I said, I got some drone footage in here too. That's a nice little clip. I'm gonna speed it up because drone footage usually is quite slow, especially if you're trying to grab somebody driving. Double click on it and you can choose this little button here for speed, and I'm gonna triple the speed. Should be good. Okay, let's add a few more clips. If you've ever edited on another software, this should be fairly simple for you. You can put some of that, and all your footage should really tell a story. So this is our story of the day, of what we did and what we got up to, kind of moving you through the scenes. Put some talking stuff in. You can add a few more clips. Alright, so right about now we have about a minute of footage. Now a few tips on how to make this look better. You can actually add a LUT, which is basically a color preset, onto the footage. So by double clicking on the footage and pressing the button here with the color and effects and choosing the second one over here, you have a lot of different color looks. I've actually imported a LUT that I really like called Aspen, and I usually put that on all my footage on Instagram stories, and I usually take it down a notch to about 0.4. Now something else that I do is lower the volume on most of my shots that don't need volume, so minus 15 dB is fine. And now what you can do is you can copy the settings from this clip to the others. So by clicking this little briefcase, choosing clip, you can copy, and then you can go to the next one, choose clip, select what you want to copy. You don't want position and transparency, whatever that is. You want these last three, and clicking paste. So as you can see, this clip is quite dim, so I can go in and edit the colors a bit more. On the first tab, if I click the original, it will open a levels edit, and I can just pull around the edit, brighten it up, make it look more decent. That looks good, and I'll copy this and put it onto the next one as well. Okay, I'm just gonna go and do this to all the clips so that you don't have to wait and look through it. Okay, one more thing we can do is add music. So the way you can add music here is through Dropbox, if you want to add your own music. So you can add it from your iTunes library as well, but I like to use non-copyrighted music from Epidemic Sound. It's pretty good. So I click on that little icon there and I go to Imported Dropbox. I have a folder with music. Choose a song, cut it down to a minute, and import it. So where there's speaking over, you want to double click on the music and set a keyframe. Go a bit forward, lower the volume to about minus 20 decibels, then move forward where the speaking stops, add another keyframe, go up, and increase the volume again. You can also fade out the last clip if you want. Go down to blending, add a keyframe where you want to start the fade out, go to the end, and fade the opacity to 0. In that case, it'll just fade away. And you can do the same for the music. Fade away the music, add another keyframe, go to the end, volume to 0. There you go, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now to export our little video, click on this little icon, select movie, photos. That should all be okay. One last step before uploading to Instagram is using an app like Cut Story to chop it up in 15-second clips. So you can select your video and just click save for Instagram, and it'll cut it up for you. And there you go. To my camera and to Michael. We've come to these rocky parts on the beach here in West Wales, and we're looking for dolphins because we were told that they were sighted here. I don't see any. Okay, and that's how I do my Insta stories. I really hope you learned something today. I know the editing part of this tutorial was a bit monotone, but there were people camping nearby and I just didn't want to disturb them. Also, I went a bit fast through it, so if you have any questions, write them in the comments. I'm happy to give you more tips if I have any and answer any of your questions. Also, if you have any more tips for us about LumaFusion or Instagram stories in general, write them in the comments and let me know. If you like this video, give me a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.